All right, man. Got everything ready to go.
Yeah, brief intermission.
We back.
So we were talking about
best basketball movies.
Basketball season coming up. Some of the best basketball movies. I'm gonna just run down a list of the ones. These are my personal favorites. Feel free to throw in a comment how you feel, but I just want to deep dive, you know what I'm saying, and just kind of get into it. So I'll throw them out there. We'll spend a block to talk about some in general or whatever. We can elaborate. But White Men Can't Jump. It's one of my all-time favorite movies in general. I loved when Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson got together, whether it was Money Train or White Men Can't Jump, Wildcats. Like they had their chemistry together was always real dope. Blue Chips, Nick Nolte, you know what I'm saying, Penny Hardaway, Shaquille O'Neal,
Shaq Diesel.
What a dope movie. Above the Rim, hood classic. Shout out to the late great Tupac Shakur. You know what I'm saying? Marlon Wayans. You had Dwayne Martin, Leon, Shep. You know what I'm saying? Legendary movie. Glory Road, a good Disney production.
I remember them talking about Glory Road, but for some reason it just escapes me what that movie was about.
I remember seeing Glory Road in the theaters, and it's a movie I liked for what it was. Historic, based on historical events. Loving basketball.
One of the best.
Very dope. A very dope basketball movie.
Good story.
The Sixth Man is one of my favorites.
Sixth Man,
Kadeem Hardison, Marlon Wayans.
When that movie showed me that Marlon Wayans could act.
Yeah, that was the first time they really tried to give him a dramatic take.
Role.
It still was comedic, but it had the drama. It was like a dramedy. And Michael Michelle.
Bad.
Yes, sir. And he got game. So those are like some of my favorites, and I got some honorable mentions. Semi-Pro with Will Ferrell.
Yeah. Is that really a basketball? It is a basketball movie.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about the ABA NBA merger. Juwanna Mann.
The funny thing about Juwanna Mann, I've never seen it.
You never seen Juwanna Mann?
I've never seen Juwanna Mann.
It's not a bad movie. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting enough.
Juwanna Mann.
Just Right, which was with Common and Queen Latifah.
I was about to say that. Did you include that movie?
Yeah, Just Right was decent. Yeah. And Hoosiers. Everybody loves Hoosiers. You know what I'm saying? That's like the white people love Hoosiers. Hoosiers didn't really. Hoosiers one of the movies.
I've never heard of Hoosiers.
You never heard of Hoosiers before?
Let me Google this real quick and see if
Hoosiers, Gene Hackman.
If it came on TV, I probably saw it.
It was a movie.
No, I'm saying like it sounds
this
old,
came out. Yeah, it was a very old movie. Hoosiers one of the movies where they had the scrappy team of white guys that somehow beat the talented team of black guys. Like, nah, get the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. But that's why I appreciated Glory Road, because Glory Road told the story, like, look.
Oh, man, this is an old movie, 1986.
Yeah, Gene Hackman, you know what I'm saying? Made me feel old, 86, you know what I'm saying?
1986.
He mentioned Air Bud earlier. You got Rebound with Martin. I don't like basketball movies. Fuck, I didn't throw
what?
I gotta throw what's the movie Richmond. Rich what? Richmond. Rich what? What's the name of that movie? Ashanti. Coach Carter. Gotta throw Coach Carter. I forgot Coach Carter. My apologies. So definitely gotta throw Coach Carter in the mix. So we talked about like impact. Now all of these movies.
What about Space Jam? Does that count?
Yeah, I guess. Space Jam. Throw Space Jam in there. Both of them,
they didn't really play basketball that much, though.
To me, man, what I loved about the original Space Jam was the soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
The way that movie started, like with the shut up and jam. Like, okay.
That was hard.
Yeah.
They came.
That's what they failed to capture with the new one, in my opinion, was just how hard that he was going on a.
Not even talking about that movie.
Basketball was actually
it was hilarious.
Movie, but not a basketball movie.
Not a basketball movie. It was hilarious though. Then they got High School Musical. Whoo, trash.
Fuck out of here.
They do have Air Bud though.
Air Bud was respectable.
It was alright.
It was ridiculous.
As a kid,
it was ridiculous.
But when you rewatch it, it's ridiculous. I would not put it in like we're talking about serious.
Yeah.
Like he got
to me, like he got game. Where
but you put semi-pro in there.
Yeah, it was a basketball movie.
It was,
but it was a comedy.
It was so
but
goofy.
it was actually some historical relevance to it.
Was.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't, you gotta respect it, kinda.
I'm gonna give White Man Can't Jump the best basketball movie because it properly displays what you would see. Like you would go to the court back in the day and dudes would be betting.
Yeah, for sure.
Betting on anything. Games, shots.
For sure.
It's a lot of stuff going on. People talking, like fights.
For sure.
Like shootings. Like you never know what you might get at
for sure.
You know.
GOAT, the Earl Manigault story is on my list as well, but it wasn't a theatrical release. Yeah. But I mean, now we get to the point where you had my guy, Lazy Eye, Forrest Whitaker was in the movie. Don Cheadle, who some of y'all might only recognize from his role as War Machine, but Don Cheadle been putting in work for a long time.
My favorite shot from the GOAT, not only was when he was snatching down the dollars, was dope. Yeah. But when he was coming down the street and he had the ball like this, and he was just like, I was like, bro, he about to get active. Like, just
real talk.
That was one of my favorite shots.
I always like the gritty reality because the reality is, man, there's a lot of ball players that was nasty, but that never got the opportunity because their conditions interfered with it.
No lie.
You know what I'm saying? That's that story is almost a direct look into that. Like you hear all of these basketball players like shout out to All the Smoke. You know, me and Jay, who we talked to earlier on the pod, got the introduction for that show. Shout out to Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson. But you'll hear them talk a lot about being high school players and playing against this guy, that guy that didn't make it to the league, but was a monster. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You hear a lot of that stuff. So Earl Manigault kind of, that story highlighted that. Yeah. That, man, there's guys that came through that was better. That was better than Jordan. But they couldn't get that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't make it.
The GOAT, that mode was clean.
I thought like another thing, like what He Got Game. I liked the message in He Got Game. Yeah. That, man, you about to get this fame. It's gonna be people pulling you from every direction, every different type of thing. Whether it's your woman, whether it's your dad that you ain't seen in years, or your uncle. Everybody's gonna feel like you owe them something. Yeah. Everybody's gonna be out to get you in a certain way. I think that it drew. Shout out to Spike Lee. Painted that picture into that. Because a lot of we don't think about it. Like you think about, man, he was good at basketball. He went to college. He was nice in college.
No. Not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But in He Got Game, I feel just by watching it that if your dad is out there with you, instilling talent into you, and you grow up, to a credit, you do kind of owe him something.
Absolutely.
A little bit. He does have some kind of, because without him, you wouldn't be there.
Think about this. I forgot who was talking about it, but the greatest greats, if you look at their upbringing, Tiger Woods, dad instilled the game in him. Serena Venus Williams, dad instilled the game in him. You know what I'm saying? And the list goes on. But for the people that are at the top of their games, man, when they was growing up, whether it was the dad or the mom or whoever, somebody pushed them to be great in that lane. And that's what the movie displayed. His dad wanted him to be the best.
So he was out there with him.
And even though that's a fictional story, there's plenty of moments that where that rings true. You know, there's a lot of dads, fathers, mothers out there supporting their kids' dreams, maybe pushing them too far in some instances.
But sometimes with kids, they what do kids? They always want to chill, want to take a break. So it's good to push them to see how far, just to show them that they do have a little bit more.
Facts.
And they might not see that.
I mean, I think it's important. Kids are going to be what you let them be, or what you allow them to be. Are you going to be the influence? Is the TV and the internet going to be the influence? Yeah. So I don't see nothing wrong with Mayweather was the other one, where his dad and his uncle put it on him to be the best, and he was able to achieve that. That's the one I left out. I didn't want to overlook Mayweather in that situation. But man, if you sit down and you teach your child to be great at something,
Yeah.
they can be great at it, and usually they will if you keep them on the right track. Is that right or wrong? Who's to say? But I would prefer that aspect than to let a child just spiral into the chaos that is life. You know what I mean?
You know, at least you have something to center yourself and
Facts.
focus the mind and progress in, rather than just, just like you said, spiraling. And I mean, a lot of people say your childhood, your childhood, your childhood, your childhood. But I don't understand what people mean by their childhood, because are you saying like movies and cartoons and eating food and, that's your childhood compared to like, and I know this is probably a bad, to me, I think having a life like Michael Jackson, where you're out.
Michael Jackson's another one.
Where you're out and about and you're in the spotlight and you're creating these moments and you're amazing at dance and, being extraordinary, being a genius and, compared to just watching some cartoons. How can you compare the two? Like, I understand people say they want to have a childhood. I get it. But
what is having a childhood?
That's what I'm saying. Is it just like watching cartoons and
like
going playing with your friends when you should be?
But I don't know who's to say what should or shouldn't be, but man, I love my childhood. I wouldn't change it for nothing.
Me neither.
Man, growing up, being able to build relationships and bonds with people that I'm still friends with and have love for today.
Yeah.
As to creating memories and experiences with your family and going on road trips and doing things and having pets and having toys and building and creating, like, man, that I think that's important. I don't know if, I don't know, like today's different. Some kids find themselves in the room, or we have a lot of introverts. I'm noticing nowadays, a lot of kids are introverts. Man, when I was growing up, that was rare.
Yeah.
There might be the one or two like weird person, or not weird, introverted person who wasn't, out and involved. But I remember being on the block. Like, I grew up in a neighborhood called Bluebell off of Veterans and 249 in that area. It was a duplex community. It was a rental community. Yeah. So everybody duplex, a lot of kids, a lot of people, man. I remember bike races where you would have bikes lined up on the street, all ages, bike races, or next to the park they made a football field. Yeah. He was out there playing football the week, out being active, hide and seek, manhunt, whole block, like everybody. Like, man, I wouldn't trade that shit for nothing, man. And there was a time where you going, man, it's 4. All right, let me go catch this. Yeah, we gotta go watch the X-Men or Power Rangers or whatever it was at the time. Yeah. This was before, this was pre-BET, not pre-BET, but this was before I was like Rhapsody Basement type shit. But like, man, I missed them days, man. That shit was like incredible.
But would you trade if you could have traded all that to be focusing on a path to greatness and be a genius? Would you trade that for that?
Well, it depends, Like, when you say focusing on a path to genius, I mean, I'm sure we got 5, 6, maybe we got 50 examples of that genius. Yeah. There's probably a lot of kids who was focusing on that path that didn't accomplish that. Yeah. So now, you trade it if you know you're going to be Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. But do you trade it if you're going to be, Joe Nobody, who gets beat in the Olympics and doesn't get a shot?
You still made it, though.
Okay, what if you get beat in the Golden Gloves and you don't ever get a shot?
You still made it, though. It's hard to.
We're
talking about people that only get,
This is not an argument I have, but I think about like playing sports.
That's an accomplishment to get to.
I think about guys that play sports and they had big aspirations of making it to the NFL. Yeah. They were good enough to make it to college, and they went to college. They got a degree, but they weren't good enough to make it to the pros. So now they had to shift that path. So you dedicated your whole life to, I want to make it to the NFL, and you didn't make it. Yeah. So you still accomplished. Yeah. But you didn't accomplish what you set out to accomplish.
This is true.
Do you feel like now, like, damn, all of that I did was a waste? Or like where, you know what I'm saying? Where do you?
I mean, if you don't make it to where you're supposed to go, you still, at least you put your best foot forward, and you everybody's not gonna make it.
Facts.
Everybody. So I mean, the best you could do is put your best foot forward and go for it. But at the same time, I mean, I'm saying like the cartoons and the plan, and you have a better chance though of making it.
But I don't think that watching cartoons and hanging out with your friends stops you from being successful.
I mean, but it's not. It's fun. It builds social skills, but billionaires don't have social skills. They're the ones who are calling the shots. They tell you,
But I mean,
they're not good people.
Being a millionaire doesn't necessarily mean you enjoy life. There's a lot of millionaires that jump off of bridges.
This is true.
And put guns in their mouths.
This is true.
So, like, it's just what is your aim? What is your aspiration? There's people, like, we live in the city, so we see millionaires. We see wealth on a different level. There are people who grew up in towns where they don't have a realistic concept of what it is to be wealthy. So,
that is true.
So I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about your upbringing. Like, I aspire to great things because I grew up seeing great men, wealthy men. You know what I'm saying? And having personal relationships with them. I can't say all of them wealthy men were happy.
Yeah. But
they had the money and the jewelry and the cars and the girls. But who knows what they felt like when the lights was off. You know what I'm saying? Who knows how many nights they had to drink themselves to sleep because they didn't have friendships to build on, because they burnt everybody they came across to accomplish the goal. Yeah. Like, man, it's the Libra scale, bro. It's just, I think life's about balance.
Even if, let's take it off of sports or anything like that. Let's say a kid is an inventor.
Okay.
And he just sits there and invents and creates stuff and doesn't want to make friends.
And that's okay.
And he invents something that makes him a billionaire. I mean, he sacrificed. Well,
it sounded like he did what he wanted to do. Some people's childhoods is working with the erector set and creating stuff, and then when they get to high school, they want to be engineers and architects, and they go to college to be an architect. They become an architect, and they might not be wealthy, but they make a good living doing something they love. I don't see nothing wrong with that. I think it's just all based on what you want to do. Everybody doesn't want to be famous. Everybody doesn't want to be a millionaire. Like what they say, more money, more problems. You know what I'm saying? Some people just want to have a nice truck and live in a nice place.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and marry their high school sweetheart and have 3-4 kids. And that's great to them. And some niggas want to be in the high rise, in the Benz, with all the hoes. It's in all the gold. It's just, it's just different. Some niggas just want to hoop.
Yeah.
Seen Mike Beasley. Man, fuck the league. Well, man, I just want to ball.
Yeah.
Some niggas just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's levels to it.
I don't know.
What did you want to do when you were growing up?
And that's why I'm saying, like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I wanted to do. But things like this, I was doing. Like, I would go to school and I would argue with people about who's the best MC, who's the best. And this isn't just like, this is like me 5th grade, 6th grade.
You was always passionate about.
I was always talking about, like, what's going on from young. Like, keeping up with it, checking it out, basketball. I've barbershop talk. Yeah. I've always been around barbershop talk.
Everybody loves barbershop
Mom used to go over there and drop me off, and I just chill, swoop up the barbershop and listen to everybody go at it with each other. So it was kind of like instilled in me to always, listen to people's points.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, like it's funny, when I was growing up, when I was a kid, man, I wanted to be a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go to school 6 years, 8 years. Like, nah, I don't like school. You know what I'm saying? So it was give and take. My father was a professional athlete, a great college athlete. He played football. He played sports growing up. I saw him. Damn, I want to play ball. I want to do that too. So football became a part of my life. But everything that I experienced molded the path that I took. Yeah. And even though I didn't continue to play sports after high school, or I I lived that, and it was a part of my life that I always love and enjoy, the camaraderie that I developed from playing sports. But no one ever pushed me to you should do this or you should do that. Like, I feel like my parents just kind of, if that's what you into, do what you into. And I appreciated that. Yeah. So I don't know if it would have been better to be like drilled as a kid to do this thing, and then you do it and it's great and you get wealthy, or maybe you blow your knee out and you never walk the same.
This is true.
Maybe you get CTE and you commit suicide. Anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just look at the bad parts of it.
I just feel like whatever you want to be, like, as far as like you don't have to, just like in life, you bump around until you end up where you're supposed to be.
Facts.
But if you would have had, like, basically you're a diamond, if somebody would have made and took the time to instill something in you, like those other people like Mayweather, you could have been there. But I mean early on, when I was little, I wanted to be an astronaut. Okay. I always wanted to caught up with space. I don't know what it was. It was just space.
Fascinating.
Space. But also wanted to be a cartoonist because I would just draw all the time, 24/7. Used to books and books and books of me drawing. So, I mean, I don't know. It's
the beauty, this is the thing I say, the beauty of the era that we live in right now is these kids can be whatever they put their mind to. Fact. And I don't think that was necessarily true. At the end of the day, there's outliers, man, because there's parents who push their kids to do stuff that their kids aren't good enough to do. Yeah. And that's not a knock on the child or the parent. It's just what it is. Every boxer not going to be Mayweather. There may never be another Mayweather. But there's plenty dads pushing their sons to be the best boxers. And some make them. Like, you see Devin Haney, who got a win last night with his father, who's, pushing him and molding him. You see Javante Tank Davis, who got involved young, and they're successful. They're making a ton of money and all of that. But it just depends, man. What do you love? Like, everybody don't love money. Everybody don't love success and fame and spotlight. So, I don't know. Do you think Michael Jackson would have wanted a different childhood and to not be spanked or punished if he didn't hit the note right or do the dance move right? Like, or was it worth it? Who knows?
To me, it's worth it.
I mean, but think about Michael Jackson's life, though, dog. You got diddling accusations. You got spotlight. Always changing his color. He wants to be white. You got people always talking negative about you. Like, fame is cool, but it ain't all it's cracked up to be, man. That's it looks, to me, it looks like if you can get away from it, cool. But whenever you're so big of a star,
she's just stuck in it.
Yeah, like you can't go have dinner. You can't go have dinner at the restaurant you like. You can't go shopping.
You're just trapped.
Yeah, like that seems like a prison, man. I
don't know. Like, I just feel like people put so much on having a childhood, and I don't think it's that great. I mean, not saying like I had a terrible childhood. I did not. I had an amazing childhood. But I'm just saying, like,
so you wouldn't want every kid to experience an amazing childhood?
I mean, is it really cracked up to be all that?
I mean, it's all we have. You only have one childhood.
I know, but wouldn't you rather be putting that time, productivity, into something that you could be?
Nah, because what if there wasn't sports? What if entertainment goes away?
There's still other ways to entertain yourself.
I'm saying, though, like, okay, what if we somehow shift into a totalitarian society where the fat is cut off and the only thing that we can be is something that's useful to society?
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm saying, then what's the difference of, like, he didn't enjoy his childhood because they pushed him to be they pushed him to be an entertainer. Yeah. Basically. All the references we're talking about were people being pushed to be entertainers. What if you couldn't push your kid to be an entertainer?
What if he could be a scientist? I mean, they do it all the time with doctors, Asian people. They would put the basketball down, go study.
That's true. And I mean, I don't think there's anything. I don't think it matters either way, because I don't think having a good childhood correlates with not having a good or not being successful. Yeah. I think there's a lot of people who had great childhoods and became great successes. Like, I don't think there's either or. You know what I mean? I mean, I feel what you're saying, but I'd rather have a great childhood and just be a normal guy than have no childhood.
But who says that you're weird because you don't have a childhood?
I don't think anybody said you're weird because you didn't have a childhood.
That's what you didn't say it, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of people think because you don't have a childhood, you're automatically, you can't make friends, you can't talk to people.
Well, it does affect
no social skills.
You build social skills as a kid. You are developed and set as a kid. Yeah. They say about like the age when you hit 7, that's when you know a lot of that programming starts to hit, or even before that. They say Michael Jackson chased his childhood. That's why he wanted to have the theme park and the kids around him, because it wasn't stuff that he got to do. Yeah, it affects people differently. I don't know. Like, how do you chase a childhood, bro? Michael Jackson did it. He tried to chase his childhood.
Why? It's. You were on TV. There was nothing.
But
you had the best childhood, if anything.
But see, that's the thing, though. In being on TV, being famous is not everybody's dream. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many child stars have we seen go off the rails? I think we've talked about this before. Most of them do
go crazy, or. You know, or they do something weird.
So I think about that. Like, I would much rather not go through. Orlando Brown probably had a great childhood, a lot of money, a lot of people loving him. You know, yeah. But now it don't look like he's having a great life. He might be, but it looks like he's got demons. Like he's fighting demons every time you see him. Raz B with the B2K shit, like a nigga fighting demons when you see him. Yeah. The dude from Saved by the Bell, they did the whole thing about Saved by the Bell. Dustin, the character that played Dustin Diamond, he played Screech.
Screech,
like, struggled, even though he was, nationally renowned.
Yeah, star.
It's like, man, you see all these people. Who was the chick that was? She just wrote a book about a Disney show.
Yeah,
she was on.
She said the name of the book is she was on iCarly.
Yeah,
she said, "I'm glad my mom is dead."
You had the one dude.
But did you...
Hold on. My bad.
No, you're right.
There was a child star. He shot his mom in the back of the head while she sat at the piano.
That?
I gotta remember, this is recently, too. Shit is fresh. Like, this shit happened like 3 weeks ago. A child actor. I forget what show he was from. He killed his parent. Like, man, let the kids be kids. That's my biggest thing. Is... you should not make kids.
Actor Ryan Grantham?
Maybe that might have been him. But you should not put children in adult predicaments.
But what's an adult predicament, though?
Anything where you gotta use adult judgment. Kids don't know right from wrong.
That I don't agree with that. Kids know right from wrong. You take a kid 4 years old, he knows that he's not supposed to do something.
Like what, though?
Spilling the drink, sitting there, walking outside.
Let's think bigger than that. Let's think bigger than that.
Okay.
How does a kid know not to take candy from a stranger?
You know right from wrong from the
jump, but that happens.
You know that candy's not yours.
But if someone's offering it to you, and they have bad intentions,
the kid doesn't know that.
That's what I say.
I'll give you that.
When I say putting a kid in adult predicaments,
but that's not an adult predicament.
Absolutely, it is. That's a predicament that could get a kid abducted, and that's what Hollywood has been. Hollywood has been children put amongst devious people, and not having the wherewithal to navigate through that. That's the Hollywood aspect of it, for sure.
But that's adults conning kids, though.
But I feel like that's kids being having to make adult decisions.
But that's what it's up to the mom and dad to even put them there.
Do you as a mom?
Then you got to think about the circumstances that the mom and dad are in. If they're not, they don't have any money. They don't have any.
But there's some people that come from decent backgrounds. It's not like money doesn't always drive. Some parents just want their kid to be famous so bad because they wanted to be famous and they couldn't. I gotta push